have many notes, so it may take me a while because I want to hit all the points. So, all right, so I'll repeat what I said before. So we come here to support Taiwan, and we're formally requesting that the IOC stop forcing Taiwan to compete using the name Chinese Taipei. Taiwan should be allowed to use its real name. To force them to use a made-up fake name, it's disrespectful and it's discriminatory. No other country is treated like this. Every other country competing in the Olympics, they use their own name, their own national flag, and their own national anthem. Only Taiwan is treated differently. This is an example of discrimination. It's very blatant, and we hope the IOC will recognize that it is making a mistake by treating the Taiwanese this way. I think in the past week, the media all over the world has been publishing news articles about the discrimination against the Taiwanese, and I think the whole world is waking up to the fact that it's wrong to treat Taiwan differently from all the other countries. Taiwan deserves to be treated with respect. Once the IOC, if it will face the reality, the facts that it is discriminating against Taiwan, it is obligated under its own rules to stop doing it. So I have some signs here. On the back of this sign, I have a quote from the Olympic Charter. This is the Rule 2.6, and it describes the mission and the role of the IOC. And I'll read it for you. So it says, the mission of the IOC is to promote Olympism throughout the world and to lead the Olympic movement. The IOC's role is to act against any form of discrimination affecting the Olympic movement. So the beginning of the Olympic Charter lists the fundamental principles of Olympism. One of those principles rejects discrimination. The Olympic movement is supposed to be inclusive. You don't treat people differently because of the color of their skin, what language they speak, or which country they come from. But right now, Taiwan is being treated differently because of the Taiwanese people are treated differently because of where they were born. What is their nationality? So this is a form of discrimination, and it is specifically one of the forms of discrimination that is specifically listed in the fundamental principles of Olympism. IOC, by their own rules, is supposed to act against and end discrimination. So if the IOC will follow its own rules, it must stop treating Taiwan differently from everyone else. So on the sign here, I'm calling on Thomas Bach. He is the president of the IOC, and the IOC, the whole committee, I'm asking them, stop discriminating against Taiwan. Follow your own rules. Your own rules say you cannot discriminate against anyone. Okay, so also on the sign, I'm calling on the IOC to stop violating human rights. Okay, so I think there's a strong argument that the IOC is guilty of human rights violations. So what I have here, this is a quote from the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Article 15, it says that everyone has the right to a nationality. And it also says that no one shall be arbitrarily deprived of his or her nationality. Now, what the IOC is doing by forcing the Taiwanese to compete as Chinese Taipei, it is depriving them of their nationality. It is depriving them of their rights. They have a right to their nationality. So if you ask a Taiwanese, what country are you from? They say, I'm from Taiwan. If you ask them, what is your nationality? They say, I'm Taiwanese. Now, no one says Chinese Taipei. If you ask the Taiwanese person, are you from Chinese Taipei? They will look at you very strange because they don't know what you're talking about. Okay? So, forcing Taiwan to compete as Chinese Taipei, it is not only ridiculous, but it's also a violation of Taiwanese human rights. And I think the fact that I can say that the IOC is committing a human rights violation, it's very shameful and embarrassing. I can't believe I can say this, but it's the truth. The IOC is committing human rights violation, and I think it needs to stop. So my 4 main points here. So stop violating human rights. They're violating Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Stop discriminating. Stop breaking your own rules. Respect your rules, the Olympic Charter, and let Taiwan be Taiwan. So I have one more sign here. All right, so this one, okay. All right, so the reason I'm holding this sign that is saying supporting Taiwan is not a crime is because in China, it is a crime. According to the Chinese government, they claim that Taiwan is a province of the People's Republic of China, Communist China. In fact, it never has been, not even for one day. So Taiwan has always been separate from China, and this is a fact. And last summer, the Chinese government passed a law in Hong Kong, and this law is unique because it applies to every person in the world. It doesn't matter where you are or what country you're from. If you do anything that violates this law, you could be arrested if you enter China or Hong Kong. So one of the things that this Hong Kong national security law did was it made it a crime to support Taiwan's independence. Now, this is strange because Taiwan is in fact independent. This is a fact. So, in effect, what this law has done has made it a crime to accept facts. This is really disturbing. By standing up here today and saying that Taiwan is independent, it's not part of China, I'm actually breaking the law in China. So if I ever set foot in China again, I could be arrested, and that makes me uncomfortable. I personally don't feel safe going to China ever again because of this Hong Kong national security law. And you know, I think I'm not alone. Many people who are educated and informed, they know that Taiwan is not part of China. And if you've ever said this out loud, maybe on the internet or anywhere in print, and the Chinese government found that, it can be used as evidence against you to arrest you in China. You know, they can't arrest everyone because, you know, most people accept that Taiwan is an independent country, but so they can't arrest everyone. But if they had a reason to want to take you down, this is one of the reasons they can use to take you down. So if you ever, so the main point is Taiwan, it is an independent country. And I think everyone should accept this and support Taiwan's independence. We've seen what happens, what has happened when Hong Kong got taken over by China. It is a tragedy. And if Taiwan were ever unified with China, the same thing that happened to Hong Kong would happen to Taiwan. And I think it would be unethical for anyone to support that happening. Unification of Taiwan and China, this is a very bad idea, and I think it should not happen. So I'm very opposed to unification between Taiwan and China. And the fact that I believe this, I'm breaking the law right now, at least Chinese law. And but this is my opinion, and I think it's the opinion of a lot of people, and I think it should be the opinion of a lot of people, because I think we should, especially us people who live in democracies, in free countries, we should support other countries that have freedom and democracy. Taiwan is a country that has freedom and democracy, and I don't think anyone wants to see Taiwan lose that. So I very strongly support Taiwan's independence, and I hope everyone in the world will also support Taiwan very strongly. Part of what our campaign is about here today, supporting Taiwan at the Olympics, let Taiwan be Taiwan. This is all very related. The reason why Taiwan is treated differently at the Olympics is because of pressure from the Chinese government. They're so afraid of anyone acknowledging the fact that Taiwan is an independent country, that they pressure the IOC and many other organizations to treat Taiwan like it's not a country, but it is a country. And I believe Taiwan deserves to be treated as an equal member of the international community. It deserves it. And so anyway, if you support Taiwan, and I hope you do, I think it would be very risky to ever visit China again. And given this fact, I think, use common sense, you probably don't want to go to China. And I would say, yeah, you should boycott the Beijing Olympics, but I would say you should go even farther than that. You should just boycott China, because it's not safe to go to China anymore because of this overreaching law that was passed in Hong Kong last summer. I think this has changed everything. It's making it very difficult for foreign countries to have a relationship with China now, because they've criminalized basically free speech. And I don't think it should be a crime to have an opinion. I don't think it should be a crime to support my friends in Taiwan. So I'll just conclude by saying, everyone please support Taiwan, they deserve it. And you should not go to the Beijing Olympics, it's too risky. And I think China needs to change. The Chinese government really, if they're listening, they probably aren't. I would say you need to change, because I think you're breaking China.